A lot of people want to wear their natural hair in a beautiful protective style, but sometimes it feels like you have to give up wearing your hair in a beautiful hairstyle if you want your hair to grow. What if I tell you that you can have the best of both worlds? You can wear your hair in a beautiful protective style and you can also grow your hair while doing that. If you follow these tips for your protective hairstyles, I am telling you that your hair will definitely grow.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go,
Hello everyone, it's a girl, the one and only Afro League. And you know what time it is, you know the vibe, you know what's popping, you know. I'm back again with another video. If you're just seeing my face for the first time, hello, my name is Angela of Afro League, and I am the person you should listen to if you're trying to grow your natural hair. And for all of my returning subscribers, thank you so much for joining me once again. I do not take for granted your presence on this channel. So let's just jump right into today's video. In this video, we're going to be talking about protective styling. And when I talk about protective styling, I'm talking about protective styling with extensions and without extensions, because I know there are people who love to wear their hair in extensions. We're going to be talking about how to do protective styling right, the tips and tricks that you should follow, especially if your goal at the end of the day is to grow your hair whilst wearing a beautiful hairstyle. First, we're going to talk about protective styling without extension. I'm going to tell you all of my favorite hairstyles that I like to do, the reasons why I like to do them, and things you should avoid if you're doing those hairstyles. If you're an OG on this channel, you should already know that I fall into this category. People who like to do protective hairstyles without extensions. And if you are really into my videos, you should already know my best or favorite protective hairstyle, which is 2-strand twist, especially as I am aiming towards growing longer and healthier hair. First of all, we're going to talk about wash day. A lot of people do not like to acknowledge it, but like wash day is an essential part of your protective styling process. This can either make you or break you. The reason why wash day is a foundation to your protective styling process, it is because wash day is the main source of hydration for your hair. If you're battling with dry and brittle hair, wash day is that time in your hair care routine where you can give your hair all of the hydration that it needs. A major mistake a lot of people make while they are washing their hair that will greatly affect them when it comes to protective styling is that they do not wash their hair in one direction. And I do not mean the singing band. They do not wash their hair in one direction. When I say wash your hair in one direction, I mean if you're standing or you're bending over the washing bowl, you have to wash your hair downwards. If you're standing, you wash your hair downwards. You pull your hair downwards as you're washing your hair. The mistake a lot of people do is they wash their hair in no direction at all. They do this. This is not how you properly wash your hair. If you wash your hair like so, it's going to get super tangled, and at the end of wash day, when you want to put your hair in a protective style, you will have to begin to deal with all of those tangles and knots. And when you don't deal with them properly, it's going to lead to a whole lot of breakage. Make sure to condition your hair. Do not just shampoo your hair and go straight into protective styling. Make sure you condition your hair. If it's going to be a long-term protective style, make sure you deep condition your hair. Now, this video is not about wash day, so if you want to see my detailed wash day routine, do make sure to check the first link in the description box. I'm going to leave a link to my wash day routine. You can check all of that there. Today it's all about protective styling and how you can use protective styling to grow your hair. Now that we have that out of the way, my favorite protective style of all time is 2-strand twist. The reason why I like 2-strand twist is because it is easy to install. It requires little or minimal manipulation when it comes to installing this twist and when it comes to taking down the twist. You can also have access to the full length of your hair when you wear your hair in 2-strand twist. Coming in at second place, it is single braids or plaits. I also like this, same reason I like my 2-strand twist, but I think 2-strand twists are a bit better than braids, simply because when it comes to taking down single plaits or braids, it kind of requires a lot more manipulation than I would like for my hair to be manipulated, and it also takes a longer time to take down. Like when it comes to twists, you just go through your hair and it's done, but with plaits you have to be like really careful, and if you're not really careful, it's going to lead to tangles if not done properly. Another protective hairstyle that I think would be great when it comes to trying to grow your hair while still wearing beautiful protective hairstyle. It is flat twist. I really like flat twist because it is unique. Not everybody can flat twist their hair, and when you flat twist your hair, it looks really beautiful. I prefer this over cornrows because in my experience, installing and taking out flat twist requires less manipulation compared to installing cornrows. Cornrows are like the worst. I honestly do not like cornrows for any reason. If you've noticed, if you're on my Instagram, you will notice that I do not wear cornrows a lot. I do prefer flat twists, 2-strand twists, single braids or plaits to cornrows. Cornrows are like, they are not my thing. I do them rarely because it just requires a lot of manipulation, especially with the length of my hair. For people with shorter hair, it could be better, but when you get this length of hair, it's just a lot. I also do not like cornrows because they do not give me the kind of access that I want to my hair, especially when you're trying to re-moisturize your hair. Because your hair is tightly interwoven together, when it comes to re-moisturizing your hair, if there's a need for you to re-moisturize your hair, it will be hard for water to get access to all of your hair strands if you're trying to re-moisturize your hair when you're wearing cornrows. I've noticed that whenever I wear cornrows and I try to pour water on my hair, even though the outer part of my hair is wet and I could feel that there's water on it, when I take down the cornrows, the inner part of my hair is usually dry. So that alone is just like a red flag for me because I really like to have access to my hair. For me, when it comes to protective styling and growing my natural hair, the goal is to reduce every form of manipulation. Like if it's not necessary, I don't do it. Excessive manipulation leads to tangles, tangles lead to breakage, breakage leads to you being stuck at the same length. So the problem is not that your hair isn't growing, the problem is that your hair is breaking more than it is growing. And something that a lot of people do not know is that it is easier to lose your hair than it is for you to grow and retain your hair length. I remember the last time I allowed someone to braid my hair for me. If I tell you the amount of hair I lost in just a day, in just one sitting, I don't think I'll be able to grow that amount of hair in a whole year, if I'm being honest with you. It was that day I made up my mind that I would never allow people to touch my hair. Because most stylists do not know how to handle natural hair. A lot of people will be like, oh, it's easier for you Afro League because you can braid your hair, because you can do your hair yourself. And I'm not going to deny that privilege that I have. But if you're someone who do not know how to braid your hair, you can learn. Or one tip I would give to anybody who's looking for a stylist for their hair is that you should look for somebody who listens to you. When you complain about something, the person should listen to you. Another thing to look out for is, does this person have natural hair? If the person has natural hair, fine, you can go to them. But not just having natural hair. Does this person have the kind of hair that I want to attain? Is this person natural hair goals? I know everybody's hair is not the same, but when you see somebody's hair and the way they take care of their hair, it will let you know that, okay, this person can actually care for my own hair. So if you do not know how to style your hair by yourself, you can use all of these points I just gave to you to check out for a good natural hairstylist that can handle your hair for you. Another mistake I've seen a lot of people make when it comes to styling their hair is the fact that they wear their buns and puffs for days. In my opinion, I feel like buns in all variation, low bun, high bun, middle bun, space bun, whatever, and puffs are not hairstyles that you should wear out for days. I feel like if you wear your hair in buns or puffs, or you wrap your hair, you wear it out to an event or wherever you need to go to, when you come back at the end of the day, you need to take down that puff or bun and then put your hair in twists. And even though you're wearing your and even though you're wearing your buns and puffs for a short period of time, the greatest mistake you'll be making is when your buns and puffs are so tight that you can't even move your face. This is the test that I do to know if my buns and puffs are tight. I move my face. If I can't move my face, my brows, my neck, my head without feeling any discomfort, then I know I have to loosen the bun so that it's not as tight. Some people might be like, oh, but it's just for a few hours. Remember what they say about little drops of water making a mighty ocean. You might wear your buns for just 10 hours, another day 10 hours, another day, and that would accumulate into a longer period of time. Before you know, you begin to lose your edges, and you say to yourself, but I don't wear tight hairstyle, I always wear my hair in buns. but your buns are always tight. They're always tight, so they affect your hair also. That is all for now when it comes to protective styles without extensions. If you're enjoying this video so far, please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share this video with your friends. This allows YouTube to know that my video is very informative and everybody should see it. Now that we are done with protective styles without extensions, I'm going to jump right into protective styles with extensions, how to do them right if you're trying to grow longer hair. Some people make it seem as though you cannot grow your hair longer if you're constantly wearing extensions. They make it seem as though it is impossible. The truth is that you can actually grow your hair if you're wearing extensions, but it requires a different level of care. If you want to grow your hair and also wear extensions, it just requires a different level of care. And I'm going to tell you all the things that you need to do if you fall into the category of people who want to wear extensions but also want to grow their natural hair. The possibility of damaging your hair when you constantly wear extension is very high, so please listen to these tips and take down notes so that you do not fall into the major number of people who have damaged their hair from wearing extensions. The number one thing, just like protective styles without extension, is to get your wash day game on lock. Make sure your hair is properly moisturized, because your hair is likely to stay in this protective style for a longer period of time, maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks. It all depends on you. The next thing is that use lightweight extensions. Do not load your hair with extensions, especially for people who like jumbo hairstyles or really long hairstyles. Make sure you use the right amount of extensions for your hair. When you protective style with extensions, it should not be heavy to the point where you feel as though you are carrying the problems of the world on your head. If you get single braids with extension, I would advise that you change up the way you style your hair. You could wear your hair half up, half down. The next time you could wear it in a bun. The next time you could leave it down. Wearing your hair in different styles is good, because if you wear your hair in just one style during the period of 3 weeks to a month, you'll be putting too much stress in that direction of style. That could lead to traction, alopecia, breakage and all of that, and I do not want you to experience that if you're trying to grow your hair long. Also, if you're styling your braids, make sure it is not tight. Even though your hairstylist might have braided your hair loosely, if you style your hair tight, it could also lead to the same damage that braiding your hair tightly may cause. So just do the test I told you about earlier. Move your face around. If you cannot move it without feeling any discomfort, then you know it is time to release all of those braids where you feel tension. That is what I do. Just release each braid that you feel the tension or discomfort. If you're dealing with scalp issues, I would advise that long-term protective styles with extensions should not be a thing for you, especially in these times where in order to get braids you need a whole amount of shine and jam gels and all of that to slick your hair. You do not want that, because that could be worsening your scalp issues, especially if you live in a hot and humid area. Those gel can just melt on your scalp and it could increase whatever scalp issue that you already have. Also, I prefer knotless braids to the traditional braids that we are used to. Knotless braids has a lot of advantages. It starts with your hair, and when you start braiding with your hair, it's a lot easier for you to make braids that are not so tight. You do not have matted hair. Another terrible mistake that you may be making is what I see a lot of people do in the name of trying to refresh their braids. Whenever I see videos like that, it gets me on a chokehold. I'm like, why are you doing this to your hair? Why? People, in the name of trying to refresh their braids, trying to get their parts to look cleaner, are literally locking their hair. Like, if you've seen those types of videos, please do tell me in the comment section if you've seen those types of videos online. You see them, they wash their hair, they do all of that stuff, fine and good. Then they apply gel and they begin to twist. Will I even say twist? Okay, palm roll their hair. Palm roll their hair like this to get cleaner parts. This is you locking your hair. Please, see, if you do not take anything out of this video, take this one thing. Do not palm roll your hair in the name of refreshing your hair. The best thing I would advise to do if you want to refresh your hair is to take down the braids around the perimeters of your head. Take those down and rebraid them. That's a better option. Or just take down the hairstyle and do another one. but palm rolling your hair to leave it in for another month or two, you're not ready for that disaster, because basically you've locked your hair. Now when it comes to wigs, for people who like to wear wigs, just make sure that you're not wearing tight wigs. When you're installing your frontals, you do not put glue directly on your hairline. Some of you be doing that. You do not know you are playing with your hairline. You want your hairline to shift to the middle of your head, so do not put glue directly on your hair. You're supposed to wear a wig cap before putting glue on the wig cap, not your hair. And if it's possible for you to shift the wig cap in front of your hairline, not directly on top of your hairline, in front of your hairline, that would be so better for you to do. And then when you want to take down your frontal, even though you've glued it on the wig cap, use oils to melt down all of those glue before taking down the wig. Some of you just repeat. You're tired of your wig, you just repeat. Continue ripping. You're ripping out your edges, you're destroying your hairline without even knowing. And that's why a lot of people wonder, oh, I saw Jane wearing wigs and her hairline is great, her hair is flourishing, but why is mine not flourishing? Why is mine not great as Jane's? It's because you're ripping your hairline, you're putting glue on your hair, directly on your hair, and those things are really bad. For me, the best protective style with extensions are sew-ins. If I'm going to wear extensions on my hair, the best one for me is just sewing, because it is lightweight compared to braids, and with sew-ins you don't have to glue your hair and take out the glue every single time. If the foundation of your sewing is done right, the braids you do before sewing the extension to your hair is done right, you're basically going to protect your hair. You're not putting glue on it for you to lose your hair. It's not heavy, and you can actually have access to your hair in sewing. You can just lift each tract of sewing and have access to your hair, unlike wigs where you don't have direct access to your hair. I prefer sew-ins to wigs, because some of you will be wearing wigs and you'll be saying, what lace? What lace? Where is the lace? And I'm there like, I can see the lace on your head. Like, I'm standing in front of you and I can see the lace on your head. I do not like how wigs do not look realistic. If you notice any change in my setup, well, it's because I had a little power situation. This is one of the challenges we face as content creators in Nigeria, but I'm almost done with the video, so I can't wait until they restore power for me to continue the video. The last point and tip I'm about to give is for people who like to lay their edges. Although taking out your edges when you braid could save your edges, but it can also destroy it if you lay your edges and you don't do it right. I would advise that you use a scarf to tie down your edges at night before you sleep. So you tie down your edges before wearing your bonnet to sleep. And if you're not going to tie down your edges before you sleep, I would advise that after 2 days at most, you wash off the gel on your edges. Make sure you wash it off. Apply your leave-in conditioner or hair oil, whatever product you like to use. Apply that on your edges. And then if your edges are long enough, and then I put it into really mini twists. Like, they're all so mini and cute. So this brings us to the end of today's video. I hope that you learned a thing or two. Do not forget to leave a comment. Tell me if you learned anything new, or if there's any tip that you already do that I have stated in this video. Do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, share the video with your friends. This allows YouTube to know that my video is packed with information and that other people should see it. Also subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.